Hello, and welcome to Third-Party Risk Management Explained by the Third-Party Risk Association. TPRM Explained is an educational series which focuses on topics specific to third-party risk management. Today, we'll be discussing TPRM maturity versus associated value. Specifically, starting, enhancing, and automating your TPRM program. Networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. Networking with peers is paramount to starting, enhancing, and automating your TPRM program. Through networking, you'll gain insight into new topics, tools, and techniques, current trends, and tried and tested strategies of experienced peers with more mature programs. All programs begin with a blueprint, a plan for how your program will run. The blueprint should include aspects from the third-party risk management lifecycle, including planning and oversight, pre-contract due diligence, contracting or contract review, continuous monitoring, disengagement, and continuous improvement. Let's take a look at starting a TPRM program. If you are just starting out your program, as a bare minimum, it is best practice to have the following processes in place. Planning and oversight. From a planning and oversight perspective, you will need to establish program governance, budget policies and procedures, third-party inventory, and risk rating methodology. Your risk rating methodology should be in line with your organization's risk appetite, or the risk your organization is or is not willing to accept. This will then drive decisions to be made regarding risk within your TPRM program. Pre-contract due diligence. From a pre-contract due diligence process, you want to start integrating into the procurement process and ensure that you can review risk assessments before the contract is signed. Contracting or contract review. From a contracting perspective, develop a template that notes expectations of controls third parties should have in place, as well as allows your organization to assess said controls. Continuous monitoring. Within continuous monitoring, you want to run all third parties through an Inherent Risk Questionnaire, or IRQ, and establish assessment triggers. Not only do you need a third-party inventory, but you want to make sure that you've run all of your third parties through an IRQ to determine their inherent risk, which would then drive the due diligence necessary for each third party. Disengagement. Within disengagement, establish a termination checklist to include the handling and/or destruction of data and transition to another third party. Continuous improvement. Within continuous improvement, communication and education are key when starting a program. You also want to ensure you have a top-down approach and support from executives. This ensures training requirements are followed and decisions on risk are made at the appropriate level. Let's take a look at the value of starting a TPRM program. The value of creating a third-party risk management program is that you will have a holistic risk lens into your organization's risk landscape. You're able to proactively mitigate risks as well as address risk in a timely manner, and it's also required by many regulators. Enhancing your TPRM program. Once you've established your program, you can then begin to enhance and/or automate certain activities to ensure you are focusing on what matters most in a timely and effective manner. Let's review some examples of enhancements you could make to your program. We will work through the same TPRM lifecycle and discuss enhancements to each phase. Planning and oversight. Within planning and oversight, it is important to develop a steering committee to address the highest level of risk and ensure risk is escalated and/or accepted at an appropriate level. Pre-contract due diligence. Ensure that you have a seat at the table with those making third-party risk-based decisions, such as procurement, legal, compliance, and others. Actively participating in conversations will ensure your program gains the support that it needs, as well as ensures that you are able to obtain the necessary evidence and documentation to perform your reviews. You may also want to own certain contract clauses to ensure that any red lines to specific clauses are reviewed by your team. Small changes could affect what evidence you receive from third parties and how you assess them. Contract review. From a contract perspective, set up a process to monitor third parties based on service levels noted within contracts. Many times we create contracts, sign them, and leave them alone. But it's important to incorporate service levels into the contracts and make sure they are monitored. This ensures you actively review and follow up on non-compliance and hold your third parties accountable. You may also want to add in non-compliance triggers. These triggers ensure you can take action against non-compliance. An example would be, if your third party is not meeting certain service levels, then you would perform an on-site visit. If you perform an on-site visit and things aren't going well, or you discover the third party is not addressing risk appropriately, then you would have a compliance action, such as transitioning your data away from the third party. Continuous monitoring. From a continuous monitoring standpoint, once your program is established, you can then begin to work through nth party reviews. An nth party is a fourth or fifth party, or your third party's third parties. It's important to also review nth parties, especially if they will access your organization's data, are customer-facing, or support a key activity related to the product or service you are purchasing from your third party. Disengagement. From a disengagement perspective, begin to maintain a data inventory by requesting a data flow diagram from your third party, so that you can more accurately pinpoint data destruction requirements to include data at nth party locations. When you assess your third party and request data flow diagrams, also ensure they show data that flows into other organizations or fourth and fifth party locations. Also ask where and how the data is stored. Third parties will often remove data from databases. However, they do not always think about data backups, emails, SharePoint files, or other storage mediums. Another process enhancement for the disengagement phase is to establish exit strategies during the pre-contract phase to leverage during the disengagement phase. If the third party supports a critical function of your business, it is a good idea to have a transition plan in place before entering into an agreement with the third party. Continuous improvement. In the continuous improvement process, continuously reevaluate your risk domains that you're reviewing and enhance as the risk environment changes. Consider environmental social governance, ESG, ransomware, pandemic, or anything that is top of mind or causing great concern for the industry as a whole. How are you incorporating current risk trends into your program? One other way to continuously improve is to benchmark off of peers. Chances are, you're not the first one to go through something. Why recreate the wheel when you can work with your peers and establish processes that they've already worked through? Benchmarking is the best way to quickly learn tips and tricks for implementing process enhancements. The value for enhancing a third-party risk program. The value of enhancing your program is staying up to date on risk trends and ensuring your program is flexible enough to incorporate where needed. Automating your TPRM program. Why automate? Automation can lead to better collaboration, improved transparency around risk, program scalability, quicker response to threats, and provides less burden on resources. But if you do not have an established program, automating too soon can lead to accelerated issues and misalignment on risk-based decisions. What should you automate? You can find value in automating workflows, assessments, continuous monitoring activities, risk follow-up and validation, reporting, and other third-party lifecycle activities. Planning and oversight. From a planning and oversight perspective, there are several options you can go with. Consider a governance, risk, and compliance (GRC) or third-party risk management platform that provides workflow, assessment, and reporting for third-party risk. A comprehensive tool can also allow you to look across third-party risk to determine key risk indicators. Pre-contract due diligence. From a due diligence perspective, a GRC or TPRM platform can automate questionnaires and allow you to obtain evidence quicker during the pre-contract due diligence assessment process. Being a part of a third-party risk assessment collective, where third parties share their responses to one questionnaire with several organizations, can also help you with response time. Contracting. From a contracting perspective, when new clauses are added to a template, there are tools that will notify you when contracts are no longer in compliance with the updated templates. This helps you ensure that you are maintaining contract compliance with your third parties. Continuous monitoring. A tool that can proactively monitor your third parties is a risk rating or intelligence tool. These tools scan the parameter of third-party networks and look for public-facing vulnerabilities. They are non-intrusive and can often provide you with accurate information on an organization's vulnerability management and Technology Refresh Program. More innovative tools can also scan the dark web and look for stolen data and/or accounts that belong to third parties. They can also tell you if a third party has offshore locations, as well as the geopolitical environment of said offshore location. Disengagement. From a disengagement perspective, tools can assist with identifying when non-compliance triggers are met, which could ultimately lead to a relationship termination. They can also assist with the data transition process. Continuous improvement. Automatically feeding into your organization's overall risk management program can help make more informed decisions when looking across the enterprise. Many tools integrate into risk management tools your organization may already have, thus providing your organization with a more holistic risk lens. This would also allow your organization to focus on efforts to address more critical risk. The value of automating a TPRM program. The value of automating a TPRM program is that it will save time and resources while focusing efforts on addressing the risk. When starting, enhancing, or automating your TPRM program, it's important to review all activities within the third-party risk management lifecycle, including planning and oversight, pre-contract due diligence, contract review, continuous monitoring, disengagement, and continuous improvement. This graphic, alongside additional information, will be included in the TPRA Third-Party Risk Management Guidebook, which is in the works being crafted by TPRA members and TPRM community members and industry experts. Benchmarking with others in your industry can aid in jumpstarting your new TPRM program or advancing an existing one, ensuring you and your team can mitigate risk in the most effective and efficient manner. There is great value in starting, enhancing, and automating your TPRM program. Thank you for listening to TPRM Explained by the Third Party Risk Association, helping us advance the field of third-party risk management. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like and a comment below, and subscribe for more videos by the TPRA. Follow us on LinkedIn or check out our website to connect, collaborate, and discover, and join an inclusive and diverse community of TPRM practitioners. automating your TPRM program.